Hi everyone, happy Earth Day for 2222, lots of twos for this math mind. I wish every day was Earth Day. I think that I'm not alone in that. And some of you know that my background's actually in ecology. So Earth Day was a big, big deal for me. Actually in San Diego way back. I don't know if it's still happening, or maybe someone would let me know if the Earth Day Festival is happening in Balboa Park. It used to be the biggest Earth Day event, at least in the country, I think maybe in the world. It was really fun. I had a bunch of friends in college, all these birthdays around now, and of course 420 back then. It's pretty fun. So happy Earth Day. May it be one of these moments we acknowledge the collective consciousness around caring for the earth, the collective interdependence on the earth, and how we are relating to that. So for me, resilience is on my mind, and that comes from both the ecological perspective and the body-mind perspective. Often we're hearing about resilience in context of trauma these days, and polyvagal theory, if that is something that you've been following as well. Earth Day is now a one-day event. I think it always was, or was it a whole weekend? I don't know, but I'm glad it's still happening. Go San Diego Earth Day Festival. But yes, resilience is becoming more of a buzzword. I even saw it in some of the marketing for the San Francisco Giants this last year. And with COVID, right? Our adaptability, with trauma, with polyvagal theory. And we could say that resilience is our ability to bounce back from something. Maybe even to bounce back stronger. There's a concept called anti-fragility, which is where difficult experiences, when we can respond to them appropriately, end up making us stronger or wiser, or we grow from them. This is not to say that we should wish for ourselves or for anyone else like challenging experiences so that we can become resilient, but there's no way around it. So we're going to face challenges more or less in different ways. And our ability to come back to balance, our ability to come back to center is resilience. If we look at nature, some of the things that build resilience in nature is to understand that it's a system and that diversity is one of the most important values and core concepts that creates a resilient ecosystem. So we love diversity. We love to see that nature has wisdom that's far more complex than our little puny human mind. But we are part of nature, and diversity in communities and humans is a really core factor in resilience as a collective. And diversity within our experience and within our body mind, so our movement, our habits, our ways of moving through the world and thinking, diversity of ideas is also really helpful for our lived resilience. And we could be proactive, right? We can be sort of like preventative medicine. We can do things that increase our ability to bounce back when the inevitable challenge happens, right? The car accident, or God forbid, the close death in the family, or loss of a job, or whatever else there is. So some of the things that we can do to be proactive in shoring ourselves up have to do with the interlocking systems of our body as an ecology. Our neuromyofascial web is one thing. What is that? That's our nervous system, our muscles, and our connective tissue is one thing. We are a sensing, taking in information, processing, giving, living organism. So we're in a flow of digestion of experiences and response. And we want the most appropriate response. So what trauma is basically when the appropriate response was not available, when we weren't resourced enough to have options for that. And we got stuck in the pattern of fight, combat, flight, avoid, freeze, disassociate, fawn, which is just kind of fake it, or flop, like total collapse. Those are all places where there was no other better response. And it's really just us trying to survive. So we're living at a time where things are changing faster and faster and faster. I just taught the first little piece of our embodied resilience atelier, and we looked at how the first revolution for Homo sapiens was standing on two legs. That's a long time ago. The second was the discovery of fire, which then led to language and relationship and communication, which then led to agriculture, which then led to civilizations and stratifications and power structures. Then the next revolution was industry, which led to a whole different paradigm of thinking about the world and our place in it, and domination and power over, and the beginnings of consumption, right? And even thinking mechanically, thinking in reductionist view rather than a holistic view. And then we had the technological revolution with computers. And all of those others took a really long time, but computers has only been like 2 or 3 generations. That's it. And now we have the virtual, the internet, and virtual reality and the metaverse. Here we are on Instagram. I'm not going to be living in the metaverse, just FYI. I'm going to be moving in real life with real people. But here we are in this virtual space, which is like within our lifetimes. So the rate of change has just been getting faster, and the amount of change has been getting to be bigger. So we have more faster change than Homo sapiens has ever lived through. So one of the best things we can do for ourselves is to care for what brings us back to center, what brings us back to balance, and to know ourselves intimately to do so, and to understand that we need a wide variety of response. We need to have a lot of options and a lot of ways to resource us. And so in honor of Earth Day, I just want to offer a few ideas. These may be old and maybe they're new and maybe they'll sprout some creativity for y'all. But some of the best ways to keep resilience in your own experience as a person is to move with variety. So if you move in different ways, you keep neuroplasticity, you keep more options in your adaptability. That means just through the day, like brush your teeth with your left hand, do something opposite, use your non-dominant hand. That also means in any movement practice, change it up, do different things. Don't just do the same thing all the time. You're going to make yourself get stuck in ruts. That also goes for what you take in as far as nourishment food-wise, nourishment intellectually, information-wise, educationally wise, entertainment-wise. Like, what are you feeding yourself? Can you diversify? Can you think in different ways? Another of the most important things is to have social connection. Sometimes we need to go out of our way these days for that. We're either busy or behind screens, but we're wired through what's called the ventral vagal system of polyvagal theory, another conversation, but we're wired to regulate each other through eye contact and facial expression and playfulness and speaking and singing. So just having eye-to-eye contact, direct conversation, you could even try it, with your pet. If you have no one else, like, sing and make faces with your pet, you'll feel better. Tried and true. And the other easiest one that we can all know is to become aware of our breathing. And notice if you are breathing up high or down low, or you don't know. I can't even feel. Holy moly, I don't even know if I was breathing. If you are breathing way up high or fast, you are more likely to be in an upregulated place. And I would say that's the tendency of our world. It's hard to breathe too slow. Less is more, actually. So if you breathe low and slow, can be one of the easiest ways to come back into balance in a moment. it might not be enough, but it's worth to have that in your pocket, right? I'm just looking at some of the comments. I don't know what the IDIC principle in the center of Vulcan philosophy, diversity in infinite combinations, is highly revered. Yes, that is the teaching of Tantra too. We are all one with infinite forms, because the infinite consciousness would never experience itself unless it diversifies into the infinite forms to experience itself. But also in honor of Earth Day, one of the most important things that we could do for a more resilient Earth. Now, we don't all have power to snap our fingers and fix all the problems. Climate change is happening. There's a lot of solutions that are out there. There is one that has the most power to make the most impact, is to rebuild soil. And so if that is something new for you, I highly suggest to go look up and watch Kiss the Ground. It is so hopeful and amazing. And grow something. Just tending to any living being, including a plant, increases our happy chemicals, our good neurotransmitters, so it's doing good for us. But also having this relationship with the cycle of life has some very, very deep wisdom that can hold your heart and your nervous system. But then rebuilding the soil is the number one thing we can do to sequester carbon out of the atmosphere, stop erosion from flowing into the oceans to kill coral. Without carbon in the atmosphere, hopefully cool the planet a little bit. Also protect water cycles and watersheds, especially where I live here in California. You know, water is, we welcome the rain, like bring it on, but we need to also keep that water in the ground. And so building soil actually helps it to go down rather than run off. Building soil will increase the diversity of the soil community. Fun fact, I used to do research in this. The mycorrhizae, the fungal meshwork that is the internet of the earth that connects the trees and connects every plant in a healthy, thriving ecosystem, will create truly the fertility and the diversity at that root level, no pun intended, for all of what grows from it, the plant life that then supports the animal life. And it also, as an after effect, helps to stabilize local climates. So it's really one of the best things you can do. My biggest prayer for the world, and I don't know if I will ever see this happen, is for industrial agriculture to go to regenerative farming and rebuild the soil, because the earth has lost like 80% of the topsoil. That's where we grow our food. So it's food security too. And it is still the number one way to sequester carbon. We might have all these technologies to like pull carbon out of the atmosphere. Where are we going to put it? It doesn't go into the ocean because that acidifies the ocean. It needs to go into the soil. So go check out Kiss the Ground if you haven't seen it yet. Paul Stamets, if you don't know who Paul Stamets is, to get some inspiration and some real hopefulness and how the solutions are in this way of interconnection and of relating. Also, I just joined today the Cool Kids Club. Go check out the Cool Kids Club. I put it in my stories. It's a new effort by Radha from Daybreaker, inspired by their recent trip to Antarctica, on doing joyful climate activism. Because, you know, the time is now, but we got to keep it powered from joy. And that is part of the resilience, is to keep coming from hope and positivity and possibility and the next best question and curiosity. So I hope that inspires you, and also know that it's sort of cliche and it feels like we're so small, but building your own resilience, rippling that into your relationships, helping co-regulate each other will ripple out some amount. And if enough of us do that, the solutions are in this, I like how we say grassroots, but it's really the soil. It's really the mycorrhizal roots of the meshwork of what it means to be, the keystone predator on this amazing, beautiful planet. So go celebrate the planet. Get outside today. Breathe in, take in the sun, like take in the energy of what it is just to be alive. And hopefully we will see each other in the flesh too. That was such a ramble of what I planned, but I hope that was worth it. If you want to be resilient in your body, check out the links in my bio. I have some free stuff for you guys. All right. Have a great day. Yay, Earth! Yay, Earth! Yay, Earth!